Hello again, this is Dalton Brown coming at you again with another speech. Today I would like to tell you a little bit about one of my personal favorite topics to speak about, which is the Academy Awards. The Academy Awards is an award show which is hosted every year and has been hosted every year since 1929, which gives out statues or Oscars to people who have won some kind of credit or merit in filmmaking. The term Oscar itself is actually quite debatable as no one knows exactly where it's come from. Some people have given credit to the name to people like Betty Davis. Others have credited as Walt Disney, who is still today the person, believe it or not, with the most Oscars of all time. The statue itself was directed by Cedric O. Diggory, and he was said to have sketched out a sketch of a knight holding a sword like so on a reel of 5 spokes of film. Those 5 spokes are to represent the 5 key elements of film, which is acting, directing, producing, writing, and technician work. The first Academy Awards was hosted in 1929 at the Roosevelt Hotel, when it was only attended to by 270 guests. A ticket back then would have only cost you $5, believe it or not, and ever since then has been steadily increasing a little bit more. Today, ticket prices are well into the thousands. In 2002, the Oscar ceremony got its permanent home, which we know today as the Adobe Theater. That's just where it's hosted at every year. In 1989, the producers of the show got rid of the term "and the winner is" and replaced it with the now infamous term "and the Oscar goes to," which we hear every ceremony, and even if you don't watch the Oscars, you've probably heard it named a few times in pop culture. A lot of people have a favorite Oscar moment. Some of these are including in 1969 when Katharine Hepburn and Barbra Streisand actually tied for Best Actress which has never happened before and still has never happened again. Another favorite moment is when a 10-year-old Tatum O'Neal in 1974 became the youngest person to ever win an Oscar at just 10 years old. Another very famous moment is in 1989 when Titanic swept the Academy Awards when won 11 Oscars, including Best Picture. This number was actually later matched in 2003 by the Lord of the Rings Return of the King, which also won Best Picture. Another very famous moment is when Catherine O'Bigelow became the first and only female director in history to win an Academy Award, and this was way back in 2011, so still have some work to do when it comes to inclusivity. Another very major moment, which I think we can all remember quite recently, was the La La Land Moonlight mix-up back in 2017. Even if you didn't watch the award show that night, I'm pretty sure you saw it on the news the next morning, and if you didn't, I would definitely recommend YouTubing a clip of it, because it is probably one of the most intense, cringy, and just downright uncomfortable moments in television history. And finally, one of my personal favorite moments that actually came from this year's Academy Awards is Parasite becoming the first foreign language film to win Best Picture. The Academy Awards are one of the most prestigious and so far one of the oldest award shows in existence today, and are looked at by many to be the peak of a person's career when they receive this. Many people enjoy watching the ceremony as well, as it's often in the top 10 most watched moments, not just in US TV every year, but in world history, as it's broadcast in over 200 countries worldwide. The Academy Awards are honestly something that is just fun to watch and downright amazing. It's an experience that every year is different, but still somehow the same, and it's something that brings us all together. Thank you so much for listening to this, and I hope that you all have a wonderful evening.